Hello, welcome to a reading vlog. My name is Ansu. I personally don't know how this is going to go. I'm hoping to read a bunch today. I have like another 100 pages or so to read of Starsight by Sanderson, which I really do want to get to and finish basically today. This one follows around Spencer, who has grown so much as a character. We're just seeing how she's going to face this whole new challenge that's kind of thrown at her. This is the second book in the Skyward series, and I'm definitely enjoying it, but it's a whole different cast of characters. So I'm a little concerned about how much I'm going to enjoy it or how it's going to go down by the end of things. But it's really interesting. So I'm having a good time reading it, and I'm only physically reading it. I haven't read physically in so long, so it's very enjoyable. Let me turn off this thing so that... Oh, it's very dark. I feel like the ring light is casting this huge ring into my glasses, so that's not fun. Anyway, Spencer's definitely a much more mature, different character right now. She has to go through different decisions right now, and I think it's really interesting to see how much she has to deal with by just being herself and not being so reliant on M-Bot, which was her like AI spaceship. And I think that's really interesting to see how she has to explore being a true pilot by just herself and her own skills. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying it. So this is definitely something that I intend to finish today. If you've already watched my August TBR, I think it should be up by now. I had talked about how I wanted to finish this book as well, and I want to finish a lot of books on my physical TBR. So the next book that I also want to read during this vlog is definitely Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend. I have been reading this book for so long, so I feel like it's going to take me an age and a day to get to it. It's a really fun book, and I do think that I'll really enjoy it, but it's just not something that I have been picking up as much as I want to. And I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it. So I just need to like really push myself to get through it, and I feel like it'll be fine. It's definitely a quick book in my opinion. Like I feel like I can really quickly finish it, but it's just taking me way too long to get through it. So I don't know, we'll see. I also have access to a bunch of audiobooks which I might actually end up reading. One of them is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyon. I'm pretty sure I heard that's how you pronounce her name. I thought it was Leon's or something. I'm dumb, but it's okay. This is how we learn things, okay? It's fine. It's a learning curve, and we're getting through it together, you know? So it's fine. But anyway, this one is basically following around this character who is almost like a slave, and he's being auctioned off to people, and he has some kind of a special ability or something, but all throughout his life he has been reading storybook tales, and it essentially has like stories about these princes who find good life, stories about dragons and stuff which are not real, but then he learns that all these things are real. He's actually a long lost prince, and he's being whisked away from what he knows, and he's going to this different land. I've been actually listening to this audiobook for a little bit, and from the get-go it's interesting because we're following around like two different perspectives. One is the main character, I think his name is Kylan. I forgot his name. Anyway, we're following his character, and he's talking about what happened to him in the past, and we're going through like since he was like a slave, what happened through there. And on the flip side, we have this like demon type of a character. I'm not sure what she is yet, but she is basically telling another part of his story, and he's just like coming into the interlude and speaking. But I think it's supposed to be like footnotes, but since I'm listening to it, it's not coming off across as footnotes. So I don't really know. I'm really like an hour and 20 minutes into the book, so not very far. The book is a total of 27 hours. So it's going to take me a really long time to get through it. The book is actually due in 4 days. I don't know if you can see it, but 2 people are actually waiting for it. So that's fun. I need to get to that and actually finish reading like 27 hours worth of a book in the next couple of days. Can Ansu do it? Who knows? We're trying to figure it out. We'll see if he can do it. I also have The Way of Kings by Sanderson with me. I've had this with me like every so often for so long, and I don't know, I'm not getting into it. It's 45 hours long. I don't know if I want to commit to that much. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how much I'm reading throughout and stuff like that. But for right now, that's it. I need to get to Skyward a little bit, and yeah, I'll see you later. Wait, no. Starsight. I want to get to Starsight a bit, and I'll see you later. Brain is such a bitch. Like, I don't know what to do with her. She's not a good person. My gosh, how manipulated are you as a person to be as bad as Brain? Like, it's so bad. Jeez. Hi. It is a little later into the day and I have been filming a little bit, so it has been pretty nice. Read Starsight quite a bit more. I have like 50-60 pages left and it's very, very entertaining. I'm really enjoying it. Also, do you take my shirt? Wait, hold on, let me like stand up. There you go. I'm loving it. It's very cute. Do I know anything about Star Wars, Star Trek? Where is this person from? I have no idea, but this is a very cute character. Okay, so loving it, really digging it. But anyway, I have done some filming already, so that's really exciting. But yeah, definitely enjoying Starsight so much. Braid is just such a bitch, like such a bitch. I mean, she's really brainwashed, so it's not her fault, but I hate her, so yeah, it's okay. It's super late into the night. It's like 2 a.m. right now. It's very, very late. I finished Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. I did read it on my Kindle, so I put the book away on my shelf. That's why I'm not holding it up. But we're finished with Starsight, and honestly, it is very different from what Skyward was like. It's almost like a completely different book. I don't know what to say much more than that, because like the characters who we're following are also insanely different. Spencer feels like a whole new person. The depth in this thing, again, like they kill off certain characters that you really find fondness towards, and it kind of sucked. I felt really sad when that thing happened, but overall, like, it's not a huge character that they're doing it, so it didn't bother me that much, but like, it bummed me out a little for sure. But yeah, it felt very mundane. Spencer is in this whole new world where she's trying to understand what the alien type of people really are like and how they operate, and she's trying to get some information from them and figure things out for her planet. So I'm just gonna head off. It's time for bed probably, so I'm just gonna sign off. If I can't really sleep, I'm in between two books. One that I'm physically reading is Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend, and the other one that I'm listening to audio is Amari and the Night Brothers. I forget who the author is. I think it's B.B. Alston. I forget. So it's going to be either one of those that I'll be either listening to or reading for a little bit longer, but I'm most likely just going to hit the bed now. But yeah, that's my little update for tonight. I will see you all tomorrow in the morning. Have a peaceful night. It is currently August 4th. The last time I updated was last night. I know the camera's kind of shaking because I'm like moving my body way too much. But anyway, so today I wanted to try out a couple of books because I don't know what I'm in the mood for. So I gave 3 books a shot. I ended up starting Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I finished like 10 pages of this, and you know what? I was not super getting into it. It's a nice story. Like, so far I'm like, I could read it, but it's definitely not something that I was in the mood for at the moment. And I was also in between A Wicked Fox by Cacho, which is a complete audiobook that I'm listening to. And I think I finished like an hour, maybe 2. Basically, Wicked Fox is about this character who can turn into a mythical fox type of creature with 9 tails or something like that. It ends up feeding on people, and it happens like every single month, almost like a werewolf. That's the kind of vibe that I was getting. I don't know if that's actually like how it's supposed to be. And on the flip side, we're following this guy who is, I think, a complete human, and she, like the fox lady, actually ends up saving his life, and we don't know like what kind of relationship they're gonna have. That's going to happen, I guess. But so far, that's all I know about it. That's how much I've read about it. And I wasn't getting super into it. Like right now, I feel like I want to read something else. And I don't know, for some reason, the last few months, I haven't really been reading a lot of fantasies. Books that were more than 10 hours were really daunting to me. But anyway, I've not been reading a lot of fantasies, unfortunately. But I ended up actually picking up Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. And I'm really enjoying this. I read about 230 pages and I'm about that much done with it. So I wanted to like talk to you about what's going on in this book. So we have this main character, Frances. She's a very nerdy girl. She's a head girl. She's like the perfect student, I guess. But nobody really knows this thing about her. She likes to draw fan art for her favorite radio show called Universe City that was actually super anonymous. We don't know who the creator is or anything like that, but it's supposed to be set in, I think, the 2050s or something like that. So it's a futuristic world, and there's this character called Radio Silence who's talking, I guess. So on the other side, there's this boy named Aled. We know that he's very shy. He doesn't really talk to people. He doesn't have that many friends. He seems like such a loner guy and like very uncool, I guess. But he's actually the creator of Radio Silence. He's called Radio Online. Yeah, one day, Radio actually contacts Frances and asks her if she could actually do some fan art for his show, like his podcast, right? And Frances is freaking out, and a few days pass by, and she actually figures out that Aled is actually Radio, who is the person who created the show. So we're just trying to get into the details of what is going on in their lives. Aled has a twin sister who kind of ran away from her house, and we don't know why she left. We're kind of trying to figure out what happened there. There's a whole story that's going on over there, which I think is very intriguing. Definitely good involvement of, I think, bisexual characters, gay characters. Yeah, so far it's really good. I'm really liking it. I'm, like, from my understanding, I'm pretty sure that Frances and Aled do not have a relationship with each other. It's not like a romantic relationship. They have a platonic friendship, and it's really sweet. I was so used to seeing a lot of romances. Obviously, I love reading a lot of romances. It's definitely totally up my alley, but I'm really liking that they didn't actually go that route. And in the very beginning, I think like 100 pages in itself, they said, like, by the way, we're not going to end up in a relationship. That's not what the story is about. And then literally say that to us, which I thought was really nice. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, I'm going to be studying right now for a little bit. I just wanted to quickly update and let you know, like, how far I've gotten into the book and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to be studying for a little bit. I do not understand taxation, so wish me luck. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and study for a bit, and then maybe I will read a little bit and I'll update you guys then. Bye! Hello friends, it is the next day after work again, and I kind of forgot to update. I was in the zone to study, so I was studying. I finished a couple of chapters, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not doing very well with studying, unfortunately. I don't understand what I'm doing, but it's okay. I'm getting through it slowly but steadily. I did end up finishing Radio Silence, which was pretty dope. Okay, I think I cursed myself. Remember when I said I want to read 15 books this month? I think that was a ridiculous goal for myself. And honestly, like, the last book I read was Radio Silence. I don't know if I gave a full description of what happened. I feel like I lost the footage, so I'm just going to talk about Radio Silence. Honestly, I did not expect this book to be as deep as it was. I really just expected it to be like a sweet story about a person who did fan art of this podcast, and that's it. Like, I did not expect anything more from it, but it was so much more. There's so much, like, anxiety, panic attacks, domestic abuse, everything that's kind of talked about in this, and I did not expect to feel as much as I did. It's really intense, especially towards the end. There's some decisions that Frances makes, though, that I was not, like, super happy about. Also Aled. Like, Aled, I know, was really abused as a kid, but the way that everything is going through, the actions that he takes for the most part, just really did not sit well with me. I was pretty annoyed by him quite a bit. After that, we moved on to Wicked Fox by Cacho. There are so many good reviews about this book. There are some people who didn't really like it, some people who absolutely adore it. And you know what? I was really enjoying it. It was going so well, and I read like 58% of the book. So I'm listening to the audiobook, right? And I listened to 58% of the book, and I don't know, I'm not feeling it. We got to a point where our main character is supposed to be this fox creature that's like a wolf. So I quickly went to check the name of our main character. The one who can turn into a fox is called Myung, and the other person who's like a human boy that she saved is Ji-hoon. And their lives kind of interconnect. Ji-hoon is a human obviously seeing all of these things that are happening in the world, and he's really shocked, but he takes a liking towards Mi-young and does not know what to do really, but he wants to befriend her. And of course Mi-young is like, fuck off, there's no way we're being friends. I can't like be seen with like interacting so much with a human. My mom's gonna figure things out, maybe destroy your life, whatever. And it goes on from there. So I'm like at 58% through the book, and honestly we got to this point where Mi-young is making a decision with Ji-hoon, and she's being super weak with her mother, and the way that she's kind of acting right now is just like not sitting well with me. She's being super weak and she's crying for this guy, and it got to a weird like romance situation, and I'm just like, how quickly did that happen? That was pretty freaking quick. And at this point she's just being weak. Like if she could actually stand up for Ji-hoon and do something, I would have been fine, but like she's like, no mother, don't do anything, you cannot hurt him. I don't know what to think, so I dropped the book like so quickly. I moved along to another book that I was actually currently reading, or so I have been reading for like a past year or so since I got the book, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I had been reading this book for the longest time. I started reading it and I think I finished like 80 pages of it, and I quit reading it as well. And I was like, okay, listen, I need to get to this book, finish it up, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I had been going through this book for the past couple of days, and it's been good. I was done with it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So, but honestly, I don't hate it. I'm really enjoying it. Basically, Addie LaRue is from like the 1700s, and she's being forced into marriage, and obviously this is a time where women don't really have that much rights. She's being forced into marriage, and she has to stay in the little town that she's from, the village that she's from in France. So she does not want that for herself. There's this old lady who keeps telling her to never pray to gods that only answer at night. But like the night before her wedding, she ends up actually praying to a god that only answers at night. And of course things go terribly wrong because of whatever she says gets really twisted. She wants to get a very fulfilling long life and be free. That's exactly what she gets, but she becomes immortal. And also, if someone does not see her for a little while, like literally if she goes behind a closed door and a person cannot see her, like physically see her, they will forget about her existence. That's something that kept happening and keeps happening, and she's immortal. So literally no one remembers her, no one knows anything about her. And the only like distinctive factor about her is that she has freckles in the shape of a constellation that looks kind of like this. She has had multiple romances, good friendships and stuff, but that literally only lasts for a day, until one day this guy named Henry remembers her. And she's so awestruck because this has never happened to her in 300 years, and the only person that or thing that ever remembered her throughout these 300 years was the demon or the dark god. Kind of granted her wish, and that's the only person who can say her name. Oh, I didn't even mention, Addie LaRue cannot say her name out loud. She cannot say Adeline out loud, like, oh, my name is Adeline. She can never introduce herself like that. That's also another part of her curse. No one can really remember her whatsoever. They can't even remember her name. Yeah, so basically she ends up meeting Henry, and it's amazing because she has no idea how he can remember her. It's so astounding to her, so it's a good book. So far, I'm really enjoying it. Once I got past like the 100 pages mark, it was a lot quicker to get through, but I'll let you know what I think about it soon. I'm very close to the end, so I'll get back to you. Oh shit. We're done with Addie LaRue, and honestly, I'm not mad about it. I really liked it. I enjoyed reading it for sure. Is it my favorite work of Wei Schwab? No. I have definitely enjoyed much more from her other works like Orchestrated Magic series. I definitely enjoyed that more. I feel like she had more of an intricate writing style in that. For this one, I felt like she didn't really stick to a particular writing style. So there was like a prose kind of trying to be a poem of sorts, and it kept going on between those two kind of a feeling. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but that's how I kind of felt. And I feel like this book could have been like 100 pages less, and it could have really convinced me of what was happening. Honestly, it just took such a long time to get to that conclusion, and I didn't really care enough about it. It was fine. Like, honestly, I didn't mind it or anything like that. It's a good enough book. The thing that kept happening, and it was just like, you didn't have to keep doing that because I understand that people don't remember you, was when Henry's friends could not remember Addie whatsoever. And I was just like, yeah, I get it. There was like multiple times when the same thing happened. So when one of his friends met her, it was like, I think her name was B, and then this character would always say, like, huh, you remind me of like a work of art. And she kept saying that every single time she met Addie, which is a lot of times. And I got the point. I just wanted to move on a lot quicker than it did, which was really unfortunate. But honestly, not the worst, but it was definitely not the best book that I've read, unfortunately. But I'm so glad I got to it. I did see a comment when I was like posting it up on Goodreads that said that this was very Eurocentric and there were like no people of color in this book, which to an extent I agree. Most of the characters, like 99% of the characters, are white, but I think B was actually a black character. There were a couple of sentences at least, or a couple of descriptions of her that made me think that she was black. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So honestly, I did enjoy the book. I'm not going to say that I didn't. It was a decent book. So like 3.5 stars. Definitely worth a try, I think, because it is a very unique concept. I've definitely not seen anything like this before, so it was interesting to see, for sure. Right. Now, I think I'm going to continue on with Wicked Fox because I want to finish the book. I went through so much pain to get through that much. And honestly, if Mi-young can be a little different and, you know, stand up for herself and someone who she loves or presumably loves, it could be great. But we'll see what she's going to do about the situation. Cool. Hello, it's a new day, my friends. Today, I finished Wicked Fox by Cacho. I finally like really pushed myself to finish this book, and I'm glad I did. You know, honestly, it's not such a bad book. I know it's like such a beloved book. So many people really enjoyed it. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like the best work of literature that I've ever read or anything like that. It was definitely a very unique story for me, at least. I've never seen anything like that before. Specifically, like set in Korea. The only like Korean story I guess that I know of is from Kim's Convenience, which is like a Canadian TV show, and that's pretty much it. It was interesting to see how these characters were like in Korea specifically. It was just really fun to see that. Overall, not a bad book, but for some reason I did not like Mi-young. I genuinely think that she could have been a better character, a better person, but most of the time she was just so weak, and the person who voiced her was also giving her this kind of a whiny voice, especially when she was crying, and I found it so annoying to listen to her. I was just so done with her. She's going through a lot of crap, so I get it, like why she's upset, why she's crying, why she's going through a lot of these things. I completely understand, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm tired. I don't want to hear so much from you. The romance, honestly, I could have done without, like completely without. It was just, in my opinion, it was very unnecessary. It did not need to be in there, but it was, and it was an interesting take, I guess, but it's honestly not necessary at all. Yoon and Mi-young were actually just friends, and that's it. Like, there was no romance between them. I would have been so much more happier. I'm not a huge fan of it. The relationship between like Mi-young and her mom too was just like so disturbing. The honest truth is that this is one of the reasons why I don't read that much of YA anymore. It's like a rarity nowadays, I think, especially. But with YA, the problem is people lack so much communication, especially like the main characters, because they're teenagers. They're not talking to their family or anything. But at the same time, they're also parents who do not talk to their children or tell them what kind of the issues would be if they don't act in a certain way. They just like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's like, deal with it, right? And I just find that really frustrating, because like if you just told Mi-young what she was facing, I don't think things would have gone that south that quickly. And she never did. She never opened up to her, and she was like, you are my daughter, you have to listen to me, and that's it. I just found that really annoying, because you could have literally just told her what's up and she would have understood most likely. And, you know, there's no need to be rebellious or anything like that, and things would have gone so much better for both the parties. But like, honestly, it just didn't. Honestly, I don't remember if I actually started reading Amari and the Night Brothers since I actually started this vlog or not. And also Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, which I also did. A good 3 to 5 books that I read in this reading vlog, so I'm like pretty proud. It's been 2 weeks. This whole reading vlog was technically 2 weeks. I'm not proud of myself, but I did try to do it. Okay, that's all I can do. Alright, guys, that's it for me. I'll see y'all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you on the comments. Bye!